everyone, welcome to Jack and Cat Adventures. Today we're going to be making meat pies, so let's get started on the dough first, okay? So in a big bowl you need 4 cups of all-purpose flour, you're going to need a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder, and I have that right here. And I'm just going to whisk this together. Alright, now we're going to get 2 sticks of cold butter. And we're going to cut the butter into pieces and put it into our flour mixture. And we're going to make it crumbly. You want to make sure all that butter gets put into that flour mixture, because the butter is what makes it real flaky. I'm just kind of cutting across. Okay, just put it in there. I'm using unsalted butter because this does have salt in it. While you're watching me do this, please subscribe down below to our YouTube channel to help us out, and you will get notified of new recipes. Alright, so now I'm going to start with a pastry blender, and then I might move to my hands, but my hands are really hot right now, and I want to keep that butter cold. So I'm going to try and work this in with my pastry blender, but you can use your hands. We're looking for little pebbles of butter throughout the dough. Alright, now once your butter's mixed in, it should look like little pieces of sand, but you want butter throughout that flour. Now you're going to take 2 room temperature eggs and beat them. And you're going to add a quarter cup of very cold water to your eggs. Just mix it in a little bit. And then we're going to pour it into our flour mixture. And now we're going to mix this just until a dough forms. Alright, I use my hands to get it together. You just don't want to melt that butter in your hands too much. So this is what it looks like. So you're going to put it in your bowl, you're going to cover it with saran wrap, and it's going to set for 30 minutes. Alright, now we're going to start our filling while our dough is resting. So in a pan you need 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. You're going to need 1 full onion. Okay, we're going to cook that onion for about 5 minutes on medium or medium low, whatever, so we don't burn them. Once your onions are sauteed, you're going to add 1 small diced potato and 1 carrot small diced. You want them to be pretty consistent in size so they cook evenly. Put that in with your onions and cook another 5 minutes. Alright, so this isn't in the directions, I'm just doing it myself. I added just a little bit of water to the onion, carrot, and potatoes, and I put a lid on, and I'm going to keep checking them. My onions were getting a little too brown, so I wanted to kind of steam the carrots and the potatoes. I want to make sure they're pretty tender before I put them into my dough, because I don't like to bite into a hard carrot or hard potato. Alright, so I cooked these longer than they said because I want mine pretty soft. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this mixture into a bowl for now. That is not in the directions. The reason I'm doing it is you're supposed to put your ground meat in with your potatoes, but I want my potatoes and my carrots to be like a bite. So if I put this ground meat in and crush it up, it would crush up all those potatoes and carrots, and I don't want to do that. But if you don't like yours whole like this, go ahead and just put your ground meat in with it, and then just go ahead and cook it that way. Alright, so I'm just going to set that aside. And I just kept adding a little bit of water at a time to steam that. Okay, so now we're just going to cook this until the meat is done. Once your meat is totally brown, leave the fat in there. We're going to put in our potato mixture. Get mixed around. All right, now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, salt and pepper to taste, mix that in. And now you're going to take 1 cup of beef broth and you're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour to that. Now that's going to be our thickener. I'm just going to whisk it together. Going to make it slurry, and you're going to pour that over, and we're going to cook it for a couple of minutes just to cook that flour taste out. And thicken this up a little bit. Just mix it all together. I'm going to turn up my pan. Alright, once the flour mixture thickens up enough, then it's done. So I'm going to pull mine, I'm going to clean up and get the dough, and I'll be right back. Now that your dough is done resting, you're going to divide it into 4 pieces, okay? You're going to roll this out to 1/8 of an inch thick. I'm going to put down a little bit of flour just so it doesn't stick. Alright, once you get it to 1/8 of an inch, I did use a little bit of flour, very light flour. Don't use a lot, just enough to not have it sticking. I'm going to make my circles with a canning jar ring. And try and get as many as you can in. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to put 1 to 2 tablespoons of your filling in the middle. Now, it depends on how big your ring is, so I don't know how much you would need to use. Don't overfill them so they won't close. Okay, so I'm just going to take 1 to 2 tablespoons of filling. I think 1 tablespoon of mine is plenty. Might be even a little bit too much. Get your filling in. I'm closing mine with a fork so it's nice and tight, but you can use your fingers. Like that. They kind of look like empanadas. Alright, I'm just going to set them to the side so I can finish. And then we're going to put them on a pan in a 350-degree oven. Well, you're going to put them on a pan. You're going to poke holes in the top to let it steam out. You're going to take an egg wash, brush it over the top, put it on your pan, and bake it for 25 to 30 minutes at 350. Alright, once you get a pan done, you're going to just take a fork and just poke a couple of holes for venting. This dough is very nice to work with. If some of them break open like mine are going to do, it doesn't matter. People still like them. Okay, now you're going to take your egg wash, and you're just going to brush a little bit on top. Okay. And then we're just going to put this in a 350-degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes or until they're golden brown. Alright, so here's our finished beef pies. I'm going to open one up. They're hot still. And there's your beef inside. So if you tried this, please comment down below and let me know how you liked it. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you do you.